Hey everybody, it's me again, Dean from Dean's Space. Uh, Glad to have you back with us. Thank you for coming back to see us. Uh, that lets me know that maybe I'm doing something right. So anyway, having fun regardless. Hope you do too. I hope you enjoy today's video. I'm gonna be doing some refletching of some damaged arrows. Little background on how I got to this point. I'm basically in charge of the shooting program at our Royal Rangers Adventure Academy every summer. This is for boys from starts at ages 8 through 17. I'll explain that in a separate video. But anyway, one of the things that we do there, and then again, our youth division comes in. They use our archery equipment. And sometimes our men and men's groups and our ladies groups come in. And when they get through with our archery equipment, a lot of times the fletching on the arrows has been broken, torn, etc. For those who do not know what I'm speaking of, this is an arrow. This is the shaft of the arrow. And what some folks would call are feathers. You do have some that are feathers, but we use a plastic fletching. These are called fletching. They're what makes the arrow fly straight. And what happens is there should be at least 3 of them. On ours, there's only 3. We use the NASP authorized arrows put out by Eason. There'll be some more information about that on my descriptions downstairs. NASP is National Archery in School program. I'm a representative for them as well to help teach. But anyway, more about that down later. But right now we're talking about the arrow. You'll see right here, this green you see here, it's called a nock, N-O-C-K. That's what goes against the string. Okay, it actually snaps onto the string of the bow, which we're not going into all of that because that's not what we're doing. Today, and on this video, we're going to be talking about replacing torn off fletching. So I'm going to give you a series of what we're doing as we go through it. I'll have links to all the different stuff that we use for the arrows, for the glue, from the tools that I use. It'll all be down at the bottom. But hang on for the ride, because we're fixing to have some fun with this, or at least I will. I hope y'all enjoy it too. So here we go. Okay, these are some of the items we'll be using today. Over here is our plastic fletching. You can see the different colors that I use. These are all from the green down to the yellow. Those are all fluorescent. Of course, the white and the black are not. This tool here is called an Arizona Easy Fletch Pro, which I'll be explaining that to you as you go along. That's the tool we use to actually mount the fletching. This is the glue we'll be using, which I'm going to show that a little bit better because it's so important. That is called boning Fletch Fuse. It works similar to super glue, but it's actually a little better than super glue. Once you put it on there, it's there. Now, the little knife you see, that's a Gerber replaceable blade box cutter. I just bought it the other night because I got tired of using little disposable ones. So I got a whole lot of blades for these, and so I figured I'd just buy me one. It works really good. It's sharp, and it works very well. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, as you can see, some of our fletching gets torn, like as I was telling you earlier. See how it gets damaged. Okay, and what we're going to do here is we're going to go back through and we're going to replace these. We're going to show you how to do it, how to line the nock up back where it's supposed to be. Make sure it's straight, get the arrows ready for reuse. Now, some of these will actually get bent in the process. When they do, we have to scrap them. We throw them in our aluminum pile. We take the nock, we keep the nock for them. But we'll make the arrow non-usable. Sometimes we even take the field tip out of it. See that little field tip right there? We sometimes take those out to save those. I have spare ones, and so right now we're fixing to go in and clean up a bunch of these. And fletchings are torn. See them right here? This is what I was telling you. Some of them, as they shoot them a whole bunch of times, they get torn. And you just have to go through and check them. Oh, there's another one. Okay, and you see we were talking about Fletching Arrows. But anyway, here's one that's been torn completely off. So the first thing we got to do is we got to get rid of the old fletching. That's where the little knife comes in handy at, okay? We're going to sit down here and we're going to take that and we're going to cut off that knife. Okay, and I can take now. You can also use a little acetone, wipe this down a little bit. But you know, I have found over doing several hundred of these over the years, I found that just scraping them off real good works really well. Just clean them up, okay? They're nice and slick. And the first thing we got to do is got to make sure that our knock lines up. Now, this one has been, actually this one, the knock is incorrect, so we'll have to fix that. In fact, I'm going to show you what we do on some of these that we have to, that over the period of time, a few things happen that aren't supposed to, such as this one. It actually got one wrong color on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this other white one off, okay? Because actually, I'm going to show you why I'm doing this. Oh, no, you don't need to take that off. It's perfectly good fletch, but I do. Because, I'm going to scrape that real good. Okay, y'all see what I'm doing here. You've already seen it once. You don't have to see it a whole bunch of times to figure out what I'm doing. All right, but the difference is that that color knock right here normally describes the color of the index fletch. Okay, that way whenever if you reach into a quiver and you pull one out and it's white, then all the rest of your shots should be using white. The white should line up with a white index fletch. If it does not, okay, you might come across a little confusion. So what we do whenever I go back in here is I make sure that everything matches. Now, sometimes, let me turn this a little bit, sometimes the knock will get out of place. See right here? Now you can tell what I'm talking about. Let me line this up out of whack. Here we go. All right. Now you'll see right now that the index, fletching should always be on the outside. You see that right there? The fletching tool relies on you having the index fletching. That's this one here. Now, on the index, we mean there's always going to be one fletching that is off color. You'll have two of one of another. Normally, the knock right here, the knock will tell you what color your actual index feather should be, fletch should be. The white being my index color. Now, I have one here that's a little bit off center, because see what you want to do is when this is placed against a string in this position, your index fletch should always be to the outside, okay? In other words, when this is on the string, this should be laying horizontal, flat. So those who shoot a lot know what I'm talking about. But those who don't shoot a lot, I'm trying to explain to you. So what we do here is when you look at your index here, all right, you should be able to see the knock. I'm right-handed. Now, if I was left-handed, it would be on the other side. But I'm right-handed, so when I put this on my bow, when I pull back, the index should always be on the outside. When I put my string's going to be up and down this way. I'm using an extra fletching. Here's my string. Okay, now you see what I'm talking about. The fletching is straight, the index is straight up. So what I do is I take the knock, and I'm going to turn it to where it lines up this way. Now, you're going to notice something. On the very top of this, you're going to see a little spot right here. Right there on that knock. You can almost barely see it. It should line up with the index. Okay? So when you're lining these up, you want to look at that, make sure that it's lined up. Now when I put it on my arrow, or my little orange fake string that I was using, now when I put it on my arrow, on my bow, and I put on the string. Now look at it. Here's my bow. My string is up and down. I'm fixing to pull back. My index arrow is on the outside, okay? So we fixed that. So what we got to do is we're going to go through each one of these and make sure that that's the way it's lined up. It's lined up with a white, okay? Since the knock is white, we want to line this thing up with white. And just about every one of them are, okay? So what we're going to end up doing, we're just double checking them to make sure. Ooh, there's one way off. Now this one here is way off, see? Right here. See what I'm talking about? It's way off. So this one here is actually probably lined up wrong to begin with. We're going to turn that back around, get it where it's supposed to be. All right, so we take each one of these. Now this one here is already incorrect also. So we're going to take this one and bring it back to here, okay? Each one of those, because I'm going to show you why you're going through this little bit here. Here's another one. Let's go around this way. All right, so each one of those, a little piece on top, should be lined up with our index fletching, this one here is, yep, that one is. This one here is, that one is. Okay, now each one of these are. Now, the reason that's important is because when we go to our fletching tool, which is called, this is our Arizona fletching. The way this works is, all right, this bottom section, if you'll, let's see if I can do this right here. Here we go. All right, watching in my small screen here, you'll see how this goes up and across. All right. Now that is in the unlocked position actually. It's actually kind of an open position. We can call that open. Okay. This would then be the closed position. With that little pin at the bottom is closed. This is open. So before we start, we're going to take, okay, there we go. We opened it up. Now that means that all three of these can do this. Now you'll notice one of these has an off color. Look here. So I guess you can kind of follow with me. This is where your index would go, which on this one is a white one. We put our arrow in here. Okay, we take our index, put it in the off color arm. We're going to slide down. We're going to twist it around a little bit until we feel it lock in place. Okay, then we're going to take this one and we'll close it up on top of that one. Now you've got both of those encased. Now we're going to put our next yellow one, which let's dump some yellows out. Let's get our yellow over here. Okay, we're going to grab a yellow right here. And we're going to, let's see if I can, this way you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to slide this into here and all the way down to the stops. Okay? Now once it stops, at that point right there, then I'm going to turn around with my glue and I'm going to put a thin line of this glue. Now, baby, let me tell you something. This is almost like super glue on steroids. Get it on your finger. In fact, if you'll notice, I'm wearing my Smurf glove. The reason I've got my little blue Smurf gloves is because if this stuff gets on your hands, just like super glue, it sticks you together, okay? Or sticks you to whatever you're touching. So you want to make sure you don't get it on your hands if you can help. All right? So now I'm going to bring this back up, being sure that this stays in place as I bring this up. All right? Now we'll bring that up, then I'll put the little cap back on it. And take that cap and run it down, put it back on here. Now, once we've done that, we're going to go from the open, remember the closed position. We're going to bring that back down to the bottom. All right, now we're going to give it 30 seconds. That's super glue speaking for don't take but a minute, okay? Quick. Now, as you can see, I'm fixing to take it apart, right? Now, I take that top off. Now, I put it to the open position because I'm fixing to open it again. I take this out. I take my arrow out, and look here. Now, what I do is I take my rag, in this case, right there, and I wipe off any excess glue, all right? I take my rag, I wipe off the excess glue, and there's my arrow, already refletched, ready to shoot again. These arrows are quite old as far as arrows go. They've been used quite a bit, but the thing about it is, we take care of them. I try not to get them bent. I clean them up. I make sure. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more. Let you see me do one more. All right, here we go. All right, so this one has got 2 missing. Okay, see that? It's got 2 fletches. We do know the white is the index, so when we go back to our tool, all right, we're going to put the white into the index one, into the index arm, just like we did a while ago. We'll make sure that's locked in at the bottom. Now we're going to take 2 of our yellows, since that's the other color we're using. Oh, I did mean to tell you, when you go to put this in, there's 2 ways you can put it. You can put it this way, which is wrong, down into here. What you do want is you want this part nearest to the knock, okay? You want the swollen part, or the bigger part, near the knock. So you put that down in the bottom of your tool, such as so. You put it in the thing, slide that down, okay? Now, once you get that, you hold these open. Again, make sure that thing's in there. You won't put your glue on without gluing your hands to the tool. It's very inconvenient whenever you get your hand glued to your tool. Tends to stay with you for a day or so. Or you leave some skin on it, one or the other. Now, you can clean up behind this thing with acetone. Little can of acetone will last you a long time, because when you get through, if you'll take your cotton swab, a little acetone, rub it over, and it takes all the excess glue off of it. Now again, we're going to close this up. We're going to run our cap back down. This lines everything up here. You're going to turn that around till it locks in. It's going to find a spot. There it goes. It just locked in. Then we're going to bring this back to the closed position, and we'll give it about 30 seconds. Take the cap off. I'm fixing to go back in here, and I'm going to push this bottom up. I'm going to lock it in an open position, such as that. I'm going to take my arrow out. I'm going to wipe the excess off. Because what that does, if you don't wipe the excess off, it makes your arrow a little bit rough in that area. Okay, but it doesn't really hurt anything. All right, there we go. And when it dries completely, it also will be ready to shoot. So, look here. All right, so we have finished these up, and I'm going to show you a quick picture of how many of these I've done so far. You'll understand why I don't show you all the way through, because I've probably done close to 100 arrows so far. Okay, this is the box of what I have completed so far. You look down in there, you can see I've got a bunch of them. Anyway, they're all up in here, all different colors, all different designs. These over here are all wooden arrows. Now, wooden arrows are for recurve bows. Okay, well, I hope you learned something or enjoyed what you saw. I tried to make it as simple as possible. Just want to tell you, we appreciate you coming again. Thank you so much for being here. We'll do something else next time. I have no idea what it's going to be yet. But I do know I got some more coming, though. So anyway, God bless you. Remember, God loves you. And no matter how bad your day is and how bad it looks, there's always somebody got a worse day than you do. But you know what? God's right there beside you the whole way. He's never going to forsake you. He's never going to leave you. All you got to do is call on him. Believe in your heart that he can take care of you, and that he will. Accept him in your heart as your Savior. Do your best to live for him. Follow his word. Nothing to it. Day is fun. Living for the Lord is fun. So, but listen, y'all have a great day. Have a great week. Come back to see us on the next one. Make sure that you subscribe. Okay? Make sure you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. But subscribe so you'll get a reference. You'll get a notification next time I put something up. God bless you. Y'all have to take care, and we are out of here.